Hello the channel. Welcome back everyone. Happy New Year. Hope everybody's had a great time. Heads not too sore today as well. So anyways, onwards and upwards. Thanks very much to everyone for subscribing, liking the videos, commenting, watching the channel. It's much appreciated. I know people have been setting loads of goals and everything for 2024. People doing dry January. Can exclusively reveal that I'm not doing dry January on the dinner Ronaldo today, but there's no way I'm going a month without having a Guinness. Come on, let's be serious here. Don't call me Iron Man for nothing. I'll be missing all that iron for the Guinness. Anyways, in terms of the channel, just want to do more of the same, to be honest. Hopefully get some sort of follow-up pods with Pen, etc. when we get the news from Sorare on the changes. We'll keep doing the lineup builders. We'll keep looking at the spreadsheet. Hopefully giving people good advice. Hopefully we'll keep winning. It's been an unbelievable spell as well, so I'm really grateful for that. I know it's quite a bit of sort of noise going about Twitter, bigger accounts threatening to leave, all that type of stuff. Let's just see what Sorare have got in their plans. No plans to leave here. Still enjoying the platform. Still buying, as you can see, and still winning. So that's the plan. And I'm sure Sorare have got some nice plans in terms of moving things forward as well. If anyone's got any concerns, any questions, need any help with anything, then you can comment on the videos, or you can message me as well. I'll do my best to try and help you out. So anyways, looks like we're going to be starting 2024 with an absolute bang. So as I said, get myself to my proper position out the way. If I might try up here actually, new position. Looking for a top 2024. We'll go in a new position. No pun intended. As if the wife's seen any of the positions recently. Anyway, Allstar under 23 rare plus. So I think this is this would be really quite a sort of pleasing win for me. I mean, there's loads of things to discuss here. Trubin, it's a 1 out of 100 card. It's a guy who I've held since the first couple of weeks I've been on the platform, to be honest. Not the 1 out of 100, I bought that a wee bit later, but I've got two of them. So a bit of a price difference between those. Tonio Silva, I bought to play with Trubin, to be honest. So, that's sort of paid off in terms of this game week. Phil Foden, just a guy I love watching play football. Like, to give him the biggest compliment, I really wish he was Scottish. But I love him playing football. He's just brilliant. I think he's an unbelievable talent, and I've said this many times as well, not just because he's just banged in 100, but I just love watching him. Julian Alvarez, we've just picked up recently. The upcoming game week was a small part of the decision making there, but not obviously a huge part. Went for the River card, the 1 out of 10. Guy's been sensational in world football. I mean, he goes back to that time and on Sorare where you'd River and you'd Fernandez and Alvarez, and it was incredible. And I know prices were higher and everything then, it was different sort of status Sorare, but I mean, it's just a guy I don't think I'm going to be letting go of that card soon. Let's just put it that way. And Orkin Kokshu has been a bit of a pain in the ass for me, to be perfectly honest. It's a guy who I avoided buying at say 200-300 quid for the rare when things started going bonkers a few years ago. Dutch League coming on, all that type of stuff. And he's been sensational. He's not done much since he's went to Benfica, to be perfectly honest, but this could be him paying his back. So that this isn't guaranteed to win yet. It's first at the moment. Need to avoid, I think, somebody 75 points behind with Szoboszlai Super Rare. So it is guaranteed a podium, highly likely to come at least second, and hoping to start off the new year with a win. Fingers crossed. That's the plan anyway. But it's been an unreal run of podiums anyway. 7 podiums in 9 game weeks is just ridiculous, really. So if you're watching this, or you're here for one of the first times or whatever, I'll show you some of the decision making in a wee minute. Just want to say something a wee bit more, obviously, about platform in general, etc. So yeah, one Will Dennis the other day, I've decided just to keep him. Could have got like slightly more than the last auction for him as well, but need a goalkeeper for midweek and stuff, and he may well drop with a break coming up, but don't really care, to be honest. Save me buying a goalkeeper, and I'm just going to hang on to him unless somebody makes me a stupid bid. Mike Novrocky came in, done very well against Rangers, and show you the play sharper prediction in a wee minute as well, because this is going to be very Celtic focused. Liam Scales, absolutely delighted to get this card. I think that's actually probably a bit undervalued based on his scores and how many cards are minted, etc. But I did actually go for a Palma Super Rare as well, which went to Team Bambi, so well done to him. But it's quite a lot, obviously, with low supply, etc. as well, so decided not to go all the way in that. We'll review that later. Inigo Vicente is a guy who's been doing really well for me in Limited, so I just thought that rare price was pretty good. There's always a risk with lower league leagues in terms of, if he moves to a higher league, or he moves at all, or he ends up in our team and he's not on the same set pieces or having as many shots, all that type of stuff. But there we go. Marco Bullat is a guy I've been trying to buy for a while, actually. I think he's pretty talented, and one of the things we're going to be looking to do is, do pick up limits still from time to time, bought quite a few for the EPL competition, etc. But pick up some good young super rare talents for the future. And 200 quid's 200 quid, right? It's a lot of money, but it's probably not a lot of money long term for a super rare, to be perfectly honest. And Joshua Kongolo, this guy I had in the short list after winning Martin van der Voort, thought to start a small sort of Genk collection. I don't want to go too daft with that, but I think it's a good idea when you're making a collection to pick up some rookie cards, for collection reasons and for long-term sort of value. So anyways, we're going to do some lineups. Before that, we're going to have a look at what's on this week and play sharper and everything. So I think the first thing to point out here is there's not many games on. We'll look at play sharper first because Celtic's one of the best fixtures, which we'll see in a wee minute. So Joe Hart, pretty nailed to start. I get a lot of questions about Joe Hart in terms of what he's doing. I'm not really sure he'll be at Celtic next season, to be honest. He's out of contract. He's on a reasonably high wage, and he's getting a bit on in terms of age now. I wouldn't say there's no chance of him signing a new deal, but I think that's an area Celtic will probably be looking to improve. So he can actually start discussing with clubs soon, and I would just sort of watch and see what he's planning to do. Obviously, the sort of dream move from Holders, I think, would be maybe he would move on to like the MLS, go and play with David Beckham and Messi's Miami or something like that. And he's well good enough to do something like that. And I'm sure he's got a year or two in him, but I'm not sure it's at Celtic. Greg Taylor, people saying they thought he played well against Rangers. I've been quite critical of him. Put in quite a good overall score against Rangers, but also he seems to be getting caught out a lot in terms of positional. He plays this role where he sort of goes into the sort of midfield sometimes when Celtic are struggling for options in terms of moving the ball forward, but he doesn't really have a lot of recovery pace, which sort of leaves him out of position. So I think with Bernabei being completely out of favour, Celtic will look to move him on and bring in a left back to challenge Taylor. Liam Scales, brilliant. I mean, the guy's just been sensational. I say about him, one of the most improved players in Scotland. That position's his until he starts buggering up for my reckoning. Mike Novrocky. So Stephen Welsh done pretty well actually when he was playing, but again he got injured. There's no way he's going to make this game, I don't think, being tomorrow. So Novrocky is going to play with Carter Vickers being out until after the break. The only reason I've got Welsh at 10% is just there's no official news from the club, but there we go. Cal McGregor and Matt O'Reilly will, I think they do what they say in the tin, play a lot of minutes. Rogers doesn't tend to rotate them. They'll get a nice break after this. So Celtic's next game's like 21st or something against Bucky Thistle in the Cup. Then I think it's like, say, 27th of January against Ross County at home, which is a brilliant fixture. Really, really good fixture. So if Celtic cards are in less demand soon, then it's a good time to build your Celtic gallery. Paulo Bernardo, I mean, I actually had Hatate a higher percentage for the Rangers game, but Bernardo played, he scored, he had a good game. Hatate never actually come on for any minutes, so I think Brendan's just easing him back. Luis Palma, again, the front three were all taken off with about, I think, sort of 10-15 to go, plus the 10 minutes stoppage time as well. So they've actually had a wee bit of rest, and based on the game time they might have had, I think that'll be pretty stable up there as well. News in terms of the squad is that Oh and Yang are in the South Korean squad for the Asian Cup. Furihashi's not in the Japan squad. That's brilliant news for holders because I don't know if the Asian Cup's going to be covered. Hatate is, and Maeda is. So, you've got Isnat and Tilio is in the Australia squad, but he doesn't really get in the squads for Celtic, weirdly. So, just get probably too many players now. So, that's worth noting because the first game back against Ross County, Maeda, Hatate, O and Yang won't be in that squad. There's then 2 away games, I think, against Aberdeen away and Hibs away. Probably not in that order. I think it may be the other way around. And for those games, basically, Celtic probably going to be without those players, depending on how those teams do in the Asian Cup, how far they go, all that type of stuff. So from that point of view, you've got to plan ahead if you've got Celtic cards, etc. I know Luis Palma, for example, at the moment, just come on the platform. He's pretty high in price, probably slightly justified. He's been doing hundreds, peak scores, on set pieces, on penalties. So I can see why under 23s. There's lots of boxes which can be ticked in his favour, but just be careful you don't get watched caught out paying an outrageous price for him. Somebody paid 177 quid as an instant buy, and I'm thinking, fuck, he's spotted like Jude Bellingham, like, I do understand that if you've got a Celtic stack and you use that missing cog, etc., but more supply will come out, some cards will be won, we don't have a game for a couple of weeks, and I think that price will die down a wee bit. So anyways, whilst I've been chatting away here and explaining things, I've been updating the data on the spreadsheet. So for anyone who looks at this and thinks, oh, this McBride guy is quite clever, look at a spreadsheet he's created, have a buggery. I am using the spreadsheet, and if I can use it, anybody can use it, because everybody knows my capabilities in terms of even taking a screen grab. But this is from Egal_S_probabilities on Twitter. If you want to have a go at it, he'll give you a free trial. After that, you've got to pay monthly, or if you pay a few months in advance, you get it a bit cheaper. It's nothing outrageous. If you're playing with expensive limited or rare and above, or you're really serious about your game, then I would say it's well worthwhile, which we'll see exactly why in a wee minute. So first and foremost, there's loads of brilliant information on here, and I think that going into the new year, one of the things I'll reflect on, 7 podiums out of 9 is amazing. I've definitely got the cards to get those results as well, so I've got an obvious advantage in some of these divisions against some of the other users, but also I think that this has really helped me making good decisions. So, have a focus on making good decisions. You won't get all the decisions right, you won't always get the luck, sometimes results will go against you, but focus on making good decisions, and focus on making good decisions in terms of holding and buying cards or selling them, etc. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is seeing that you've got to sell a card at a loss, but it's pretty obvious that card might go down further based on a bad move or whatever, and sometimes you've got to make that correct decision. So anyway, on to the game week. 2 standout fixtures, Rangers and Celtic. So not much of a surprise there. The game week really is covered by Scottish League, Spanish League, and West Ham, and I only mention West Ham because they are the only other gaming champions. So if you've got some good players from, La Liga, then champion, you're not having to play against Man City and Liverpool and, all the other top clubs you've usually got to beat. So that's interesting. But Celtic clean sheet percentage, so you can't really see from my baldy noggin here. Hang on. Yeah, you can just see it behind there. Clean sheet percentage, 55%. Expected goals against, 0.48. Expected team goals, 2.31, and win percentage, 78%. So that's why these stats are pretty important, because Celtic away at St Mirren's, place we've not always done that well recently, but Celtic won the last 3 games, conceded 1 goal, beaten Rangers, be on a high, be giving it everything before the break, and touchwood, I'm expecting a good performance. Real Madrid up there, 59% clean sheet percentage, 2.31 expected team goals, 81% win percentage. So I think that this filtered to expected team goals actually. But they definitely have one of the best fixtures as well. So definitely worth watching out for. Barcelona, again, so all the big clubs really in these leagues. But there's some sneaky ones in there. Osasuna, Almeria have been pretty poor this season. So if you're kind of looking for something's budget option, a couple of Osasuna players could be interesting, especially with 42% clean sheet percentage is about the best you'll probably get for a sort of mid-table-ish Spanish side. Real Sociedad against Alaves. I mean, Sociedad, high clean sheet percentage and reasonably high expected team goals. So, guys like Taki Kubo, more expensive. Guys like maybe Oyarzabal there, he's not been doing that much recently, but very capable of doing a lot, and, he's been pretty cheap. And then people who are maybe playing the SPFL but can't afford the Celtic cards and the like. Hibernian, reasonable clean sheet percentage against Motherwell, who've struggled. They did get on the board beating Livingston, but then that's not really that hard this season, to be perfectly honest. West Ham, right? I mean, West Ham expected to score a few goals, but horrendous clean sheet percentage, so not really teams who are that stackable. Getafe against Vallecano kind of sticks out, 41% clean sheet percentage, and Hearts against Livingston. Hearts are away, so you'll have a tougher fixture than at home. It's a funny pitch in that it's a plastic sort of pitch. It's not normal turf, but definitely some options there as well. This is the overall projected scores sort of metric for across like all the leagues that are running this week. Matt O'Reilly right up there, so not huge surprise there. Bernardo as well. So I think he's a brilliant cap option because his cap cost is very low. So he's a real standout. Somebody who you could maybe fire into the under 23s or any cap competition this week. Arda Güler, I don't think he'll play. Just back from injury. Luis Duque Lopez, pretty interesting one. Loads of links with Majovski moving away. And over in Spain, Rodrigo. Jude Bellingham was a terrible cap player because his last 15 so high. So this minus 10 means the difference between the cap cost for the cap competitions and the projected score. So if you look at guys here like Bernardo's a positive projected differential of 39. There's other interesting ones in there as well, sort of Connor Barron, who's been in and out for Aberdeen, things but out of favour. Dylan Levitt sort of stands out down there, although I don't know whether or not he's going to play much. Malachi Boateng, I don't know. It's not somebody I really know. Would need to look him up. So we're going to do some lineup building here. I know we're waffling a wee bit now, but it's a new year. We're trying to give some insights and hopefully try to help people with their game going forward. And remember, try and enjoy it as well. It's quite easy to get caught up in all this Twitter shite sometimes. So I get caught up on it as well. So there we go. So standout goalkeeper in terms of clean sheet percentage projected scores, Joe Hart. So that's pretty interesting. I don't think I'd have much choice there, to be honest, when you'll see in a wee minute. But Courtois out. Philip Jorgensen the highest of the under 23s. So we'll filter this in a minute when we're picking teams. Liam Scales right up there. Alistair Johnson. Vickers is injured, so he won't play. Greg Taylor higher projected score than João Cancelo, so that's, just ignore me and just buy loads of Greg Taylor, eh? I'm just joking. Be careful with Greg Taylor because Celtic may well sign a left back. Yosuke Ideguchi is now registered back at Celtic, but actually he's moving to the J League and it's been confirmed. It's not going to be updated with Opta, so ignore him. So that's projected as if he's going to start for Celtic, which he won't. Cal McGregor high up. Other ones up there, Danny Parejo, nice. So, I'll need checking Baena. I think this is a detail you've got to watch for sometimes. Parejo was off the clean sheets. Don't tell his wife. Parejo was off the set pieces, I think. Baena was taking him, but then Baena was injured. So, that's something to watch out for, because if Baena's still out, then Parejo's a really good card to use this week. He's good anyway, but having those set pieces just increases his chances of a decisive and some points as well. Rodrigo, really nice, really high. I'll be remembering that when I'm doing the lineups in a minute. Vinicius Junior, I think he's back in the squad. Don't think he's going to start. I think Real have said he'll get minutes, but he won't start. Brahim Diaz been excellent, really, really sneaky. Come back to Real Madrid and really made an impact, which is interesting. Furuhashi with a high expected score. I think he'll be buzzing after that amazing goal against Rangers. Luis Palma, reasonably high up there, but not as high as you may expect. So that's why I was saying watch, you don't overpay for him as well, because, St Mirren's not the easiest of games. And also, he's got low supply just now too. So let's pick some teams. So usually I go from sort of limited up the way, but I'm gonna go the opposite this time, just because it's quite a restricted game week, and I'm gonna pick the sort of higher up teams, work my way back down, and we'll pick some limited as well. Also got loads of time in my hands today, so if this ends up taking 50 minutes or whatever, I do apologise, but you can fast forward me if you want. I'm looking, don't do that. I want viewing time. Please like and subscribe and all that shit. Right, so first decision here: Challenger Europe Super Rare or Allstar. So Challenger Europe Super Rare, matches wise, is just the Scottish League, right? Gaziantep and Pendix Sport, so that's not really jumping out. Prize pool wise, Tier 2 Super Rare for first, Tier 3 Super Rare for second, Tier 3 Super Rare for third. We've got some other prizes and some Ethereum. Yeah, this is why I have myself down the bottom of the screen. Moving again. Sorry, guys. All-Star Super Rare. So, prize pool. Tier 1 Super Rare, more Ethereum. Second place Tier 2. So, there's more Tier 2s in this as well. So, that's interesting. So, the only downside in terms of playing a Challenger team in here is that you're having to play against Real Madrid stacks, or you have to play against, all the players and everything in the Spanish league. So, this is a really interesting one, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of the lower tiers after Sorare made a complete and utter arse of it. So I think I'm going to go All-Star. Celtic still got a good fixture. It's going to be hard to beat Real Madrid cards at home against Mallorca and all that. There's no doubt about it, but I don't think I'm going to run into many like the Jude Bellingham unique and All-Star Super Rare. That's going to be in the unique competitions. So I think we're just going to go in here. So Joe Hart, you see from the spreadsheet. So I'm going in All-Star, so I'll leave it set to All-Star. Liam Scales, highest projected score of 83, so that's a bit of a easy decision. Midfield wise, Matt O'Reilly pretty high up, as is Callum McGregor's, which is quite interesting. Forward line wise, I can't use the unique in here of Furuhashi, so a bit of a waste, but I'm kind of in betwixt and between just now. If I had another unique, I could play All-Star unique, but I don't have enough, which is fine. It's like whale problems, as people say. Furuhashi, should probably actually filter out scarcity here, so that's going to be Super Rare Scarcity. So this is the big advantage of having the spreadsheet, right? You can just go in and start doing customizable stuff and just say, I'm just going to filter it and, see what the highest options are, and some stuff happens in the background anytime now, and it should filter out. There we go. So, yeah. So basically I only have the option of Celtic players, but that confirms what we've seen on the screen really there. So, Furuhashi for forward. And then for the last position, what's the highest? So Cal McGregor project score 76. Alistair Johnson pretty high. Vickers injured, and then obviously goalkeeper position. So I think it just makes the most sense to put in Cal McGregor in here. And Liam Scales has been superb. So there we go. Moving myself again. Right, that's the position I'm going to keep now. Baldy heed in your screen. So there we go. That's an All-Star Super Rare selection done. Move back down now. So I think, given the success in the under 23s, I'd like to have a wee look at under 23 Rare Plus, to be honest. So back to the spreadsheet. So you can do a couple of things here. So Rare Pro under 23. So again, I find this really, really useful, to be honest, being able to do that, just to get some clarity on actually making decisions, be sensible here. I've kept Will Dennis, but as it turns out, he's got the lowest projected score, but that makes sense because Kilmarnock are playing at Ibrox. You'd expect Rangers to score a few goals there, but I think if he concedes less than 3, then he'll put up a really good score because he'll be making saves. Kilmarnock are really well organised though, so you've got to be careful there and touch wood. Make the new year even better after that Derby result, and be good if they could get some points off Rangers too. So Philip Jorgensen's natural selection in here. Back Verbruggen I love, but it's just like, we're just flipping a coin every week. Is it him or Steele? I wish that just fucking pick Verbruggen, man. Honestly, like Brighton are not keeping clean sheets either. This guy, I mean, he's a top manager, but I think sometimes you can be too clever, right? Like just pick a goalkeeper and stick with him. So it's Will Dennis or Jorgensen. I think probably will go Jorgensen. Would make my day if we're in a situation where Kilmarnock got a result. There we go. Defender wise, Welsh looking like he's going to be out. So yeah, Navrocki stand out there. I don't have the super rare. I let them go just on the basis I wasn't sure when Navrocki would be back firing. But so I've got 2 options in here. I think on this one, I'll probably go with the highest XP one, just because this is going to be a real priority team if I'm going to use O'Reilly and stuff in here. Midfield wise, so Matt O'Reilly, pretty high up. Now the only problem with using him here is what I'm going to do with the other divisions, the other Celtic stacks. So let's say I use him in here, because it's a great chance to use him in here, there's no doubt about it. And again, Luis Palma, what do we go for? Do we go for the under 23 Rare Plus? Or do we go for Challenger? Or do we go for Allstar Rare Plus? So decisions. Who's got the highest projected score? Rodrigo, actually. So, and Vinicius just back, so I think he's quite a safe selection there. And then we could just go all out here and just go Palma as well. Taki, I'll need to double check on that. I'd love to use him, but that's not really any use if he's not available. He's 80% to play Taki, so that's quite interesting. So I could just keep Palma and stack him with O'Reilly and the other selections, just be starting to get a wee bit short of super rares with what you call him? Carter Vickers been out. So yes, I could just do that. So that's pretty interesting. The only downside, I guess, is if Celtic do run riot, then having Palma in with O'Reilly could be pretty potent. I do think that selection's pretty good for an under 23s midweek. There's just not a lot on. Let's have a look next. So Challenger Europe Rare Plus. Again, this is our decision based on prize pools. So got 1-star rare, then we're into tier 1s. $400 for first. And then All-Star Rare Plus, we have 2-star rares, more Ethereum, but more people to play against as well. So I think initially I'm just going to hedge my bets a bit here and just, have the big stack in the All-Star and have, the Celtic second stack in here. So Joe Hart, I think I've really got to have a focus on what super rares I'm using here with Vickers out. So Johnston, and as I said, having Matt O'Reilly in the 23s really restricts what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to have to run, I think, with 1 super rare light, or I'm going to have to run Maeda, which, he's not been doing that well recently. That's the only thing. So he's not a high average type guy. So, so I'll leave him for sort of cap effort, etc. So Matt O'Reilly, I guess the only advantage of doing it this way is that Palma is a differential. There's only one rare just now, so he's going to be the obvious captain choice, I think, here in scales. So that's the highest. Now, why am I captain Palma? Well, if he does 100, there's no other Palma cards. So actually, I think that's probably a good way to go, because he could hit 90 or 100 in under 23s, and Rodrigo could do 100, and then there's no real advantage against teams who have Rodrigos. So I think from a strategy point of view, that's quite interesting. Then my next most favourite competition is Allstar Rare Plus. So let's have a go at that. Allstar Rare, it's called Rare Pro on here, but it's Plus. I know it is a Pro, obviously. So we're out of Joe Bain. Joe Bain. I was looking. So looking at Scott Bain there. We're out of Joe Hart cards now. So this just shows you it's quite a restricted game week, because if I can't get like gazillions of teams in, then it's more difficult for people. So who have we got left? I don't fancy taking the Verbruggen risk in here. I think he's going to go into the last 23's team. Maximiano projected 53. I think I'm going to back Dennis. I just don't know. I mean, his scores have been good. I'll be chuffed if we get the right result as well with against Rangers. What have I got left in terms of super rares here? So yeah, I can play Danny Parejo in here, so that's good. Again, I think I'm going to be going down in a super rare light, so I think it's going to be a mixed effort of Dennis Parejo and strong Celtic cards. So who's the strongest projected Celtic card? Liam Scales. Forward wise, Brahim, interesting. He's actually pretty high up on this as well, isn't he? He's not a guaranteed starter, right? So I like Brahim, I really do, but he's not a guaranteed starter. Difficult. Lewandowski, some man, great cap player these days. Furuhashi could go with Maeda. It's a wee bit of a differential, but he needs a decisive, as does Furuhashi, to be perfectly honest. So the decision is, do we max it out or... So Furu's project score 63, Maeda's 49. It's there or thereabouts, isn't it? I think it's a reasonably tough game, so I might go with Dyson to get back on the score sheet. And I've still got Novrocky available, but I'll probably use him last 23s or in a cap competition. And then the big man, Matt O'Reilly. So there we go. I wouldn't say that's my strongest All-Star Rare Plus often, but I think it's as good as we can do midweek. So here's where the chess begins. Well, for me anyway. So if I used O'Reilly in that team, then the problem is I can't use O'Reilly in that team. But it would let me use the Furuhashi super rare in there, and then use the Furuhashi unique in the All-Star super rare, and then move Furuhashi super rare into this team here. But then it means I'm getting into the under 23s with no super rare, so I think I've got to kind of leave it that way, to be honest. So anyway, that's the decision for me to make. Let's pick some limited teams. We've got loads of time today, so let's do it. So under 23 limited. So back to El Spreadsheetio. Under 23s limited. So again, if you play multiple scarcities, or if you do have a reasonable amount of cards, or even you just want to improve your game, using resources like this, pretty vital, I would say. Pretty vital. It's important to consider all these different points here. So yeah, I don't have a big choice in terms of goalkeepers. So either buy one, buy like a Jorgensen, or just go with Verbruggen against West Ham. Steele's played the last two, so I'd imagine Verbruggen's due to come back in, but feck knows. De Zerbi's a maniac. Mike Novrocky, highest projected score here, so again, he's going to have to go in here. Amazing cap player for this week as well. I mean, no last 15, so like in projected score of 54, which I think he actually will do better than that, but there we go. Matt O'Reilly. So, again, Paulo Bernardo is a real interesting one because he'd be brilliant for the Caps. So you could get like Joe Hart, Navrocki, or Bernardo, and like get into the cap 240 or 220, which is amazing. Luis Palma. Now, what do we do with him? Oh, hang on. Did I just buy another one? Maybe I should buy another one. Well, the options have been bonkers, right? So we go pretty much Celtic stacked here. I suppose we could just go with Palma. Still a nice differential in here. And then highest other projected score is the big man himself, Rodrigo. I think it's worth playing Rodrigo in here for me, just because I don't have really a huge Real Madrid stack, so I don't think I'll have anything too strong for champion, to be honest. The downside of playing Palma in there is obviously I'm going to be not playing him then in the Celtic stacks. So, 22 minutes left. Palma. I think this is kind of around about how much he's worth just now. It's like £100. Maybe I'll decide to buy an R1 and stick him in the stack, but that's post video. I don't know. I think he's due to come down a wee bit. He's more expensive than Matt O'Reilly, which I think makes sense based on the overall supply. So Challenger's pretty straightforward. I can run 2 stacks, which is good. So the decision is, do I run the highest XP one in Challenger or in Allstar? I think you've got to run it in Challenger because you're mainly playing other Celtic stacks. So Joe Hart, Liam Scales, Matthew O'Reilly. I think it's got to be Furuhashi, obviously. So more likely, I think, to score than Maeda. And then Cal McGregor was quite high up in terms of projected scores, and he was really buzzing against Rangers as well. So I think, we go that. And we're playing more attacking players here, so I think captain-wise, go with the old O'Reilly to Furuhashi combination, which works a lot. So do one more selection for the All-Star, and then we'll do a cap team, and then that'll be us. It's been a bit longer today, but hopefully people get a bit more time in their hands, not too hungover, just chilling. Lunen's projected to play for Real Madrid, so that's kind of interesting. I guess I could do a mini Real Madrid stack there, but that'll be for champion. So it's going to go with the Celtic theme. So Joe Hart. Have I run out of scales here? Maybe I'll do or have, but you can go for a differential. Yep. I've run out of Navrocki as well. Usually I've got about 1 million of these guys. That's because obviously Scales was at Aberdeen and Navrocki's not got many cards yet. So All-Star Limited. So rather than just clicking stuff, let's make a good decision here. So Alistair Johnson is the second highest. I've not played him much, so sounds quite interesting. He project higher than Cancelo. So I guess I could just stick in Cancelo with like Lunan and Champion. So Alistair Johnson will be coming in. Midfield wise, still do have a Matt O'Reilly left. I think it's quite hard to leave him out these days. Just hard to leave him out. Vinicius isn't fit. Taki looks as if he's going to play, but we're going to go Celtic stack here. So I think I'll keep Taki for the Caps. Furuhashi, and who we got left? It's going to have to be a Celtic player now, and we're going Celtic stack, so I think it's going to have to be a Celtic player. I've got another high XP Callum McGregor there. I'm going to captain McGregor here. He's quite high projected score. Means we're not just as all in on Matt O'Reilly. Furuhashi probably needs at least 2 decisives to do a high score. So, given St Mirren are quite organised, I think probably prefer to go with a more of a midfield dominant theme. And then final one would be, caps. I think if you're aiming at cap 240 here, might not pick this selection myself, but we'll see what we're left. But Joe Hart's definitely a good option for that. Novrocky is a complete and utter standout here, so he's the last 15-0. So I'm going to play the caps, and I think you would really want to get him in. Obviously, here you've got other options. Greg Taylor, Johnson. Interestingly, Johnson's is projected to be higher. So there we go. I think the other obvious one here is Paulo Bernardo. So cap cost of 38 is pretty good, to be honest. You get 35 for starting, right? So it's pretty good. And he's coming into form after been some bench appearances, etc. Up front, well, Furuhashi and Maeda are quite low. Not really used many Maedas, but put in the last Furuhashi here. And then affordable only, who's that leave us? Kieran Tierney. Oh, this is a Celtic stack for the ages. Kieran Tierney, Allstar Limited. Let's see what Tierney's projected score is. Where is he? 46. That's a bit lower than I expected, actually. I thought they would do pretty well against Alaves. So Tierney, Ansu Fati's injured again. A shame for that guy, such a good player. Mavropanis I really like, though they do rotate a little bit. West Ham. Could go Greg Taylor, actually. That's interesting. Bugger it. Been slagging him off too much. We'll go Greg Taylor. He did put in a battling performance the last game, so I'm going to be fair to him. With Maeda back, maybe he starts finding some more combinations with Maeda and Palman. Celtic should hopefully dominate the ball. And if that doesn't beat the cap, then Celtic will probably have lost. So there we go. I said I wasn't going to move myself on the screen, but if you want to watch professional videos with guys chopping things up and doing challenges across the UK and aiming for millions and gazillions of viewers, then this is probably not the channel for you. Sorry guys, we're here for Sorare content. We're here to win. We're here to make good decisions. We're not here to talk about stuff like what Rihanna has for our breakfast and all that sort of shit. Beyonce and no offence, John Nellis, sorry. He's doing much better than me. So if you want to watch a popular channel, go and watch John Nellis. Or final thing is, we just want to say a big thanks to Quinny for taking me along to the game again. Celtic Rangers game, and got some tickets from Sorare. Run a competition. 2 people won tickets on Instagram, which was fantastic. And we got to go and see Celtic beat Rangers at Parkhead, which was absolutely brilliant. Made my new year absolutely buzzing. There's no two ways about it, and some great results in Sorare. So on that note, we're going to move on to the game week. I know it's maybe going to be a quieter one for most people. EPL's not back until the weekend, etc. If you're not playing, then feel free to give me a challenge on Rivals. We'll get some sort of lineups done for some of the games, the Real Madrid game, etc. there. We'll have some fun and we'll move on. If you're playing this week, then as we finish in customary style, good luck and go fuck.